everybody, welcome back for part 5 of riding smaller wave sails. Hey, in a previous episode we talked about using a wave sail because it has a higher center of effort than a free ride sail, and that will help to pull you over the board, make sure you're over the fin so you won't get as much spin out. But in addition to that, having a wave sail that pulls you over the board makes sure that that sail is nice and upright. And if the sail is nice and upright, it's going to catch more wind than if it's pulled over you. If it's pulled over you, it's going to lose some exposure to the wind. So in addition to using the wave sail, we can also use longer harness lines to make sure that sail is nice and upright. And we can use a lower boom. So if we use longer harness lines and a lower boom with our wave sail, we'll be sure that it's nice and vertical, it's not pulled over us, it'll get full exposure to the wind, that'll give us just that little bit of extra power that's going to help us to ride smaller wave sails. Now, in addition to that, we might consider using a 5-batten wave sail as opposed to maybe a 4 or a 3-batten wave sail, because a 5-batten wave sail is going to have just a little bit more shape. Again, just to give you that little bit of extra power. And remember, all these individual things alone are only going to make a very small difference in riding smaller wave sails. But it's when we put them all together that we'll be able to ride significantly smaller wave sails. So we're going to keep moving on here. We're going to talk about rotational versus non-rotational sails. For rotational sails, the batten is going to rotate hard against the mast, and it's going to take a strong gust of wind to pull that batten away. So the sail has to fill up with wind before it gets its full shape. With a non-rotational sail, the manufacturer uses panel shaping to build shape into the sail, so you don't need a full gust of wind to give the sail its shape. That's going to allow you to ride a slightly smaller sail by using a non-rotational sail. Let's think of it this way. Look at a rotational sail. When the batten is rotated hard against the mast, that's when you have light wind. When you have light wind, that's when you want full shape in the sail, because you want to get as much power as possible. When the gust comes, you want a little bit less power because there's a big gust of wind. So that's when you would not want the sail to have full shape. So with a rotational sail, it's kind of backwards for purposes of getting full power out of the sail. It's excellent for frontside wave riding when you want the sail to fully depower when you sheet it in and you're going down the line. But if you want to get maximum power out of the sail all the time, in conditions like onshore Great Lakes conditions like we have, a non-rotational sail is really going to be a better option. So I've got an article written called Know Your Sail, and I'm going to put the link to this article in the comment section down below so that you can check out more about sails, rotational versus non-rotational sails. And lastly, I want to mention that when you're rigging your sail, make sure you have the correct mast that the manufacturer specifies. Because when manufacturers design a sail, it's designed around the mast. Some sails are designed to have more flex in the bottom of the mast. Some sails are designed to have more flex in the top of the mast. And that flexibility, that hardness or softness in the mast is going to determine how far the battens are going to come out from the mast. It's going to determine the overall shape of your sail. So check with the manufacturer, make sure you have the correct mast, make sure that it's the correct stiffness and the correct bend curve. I've also written an article on masts, and I'm going to put the link to that article in the comment section down below. That's it for today. We're going to try and wrap this up in 1 or 2 more episodes. I hope you're having fun. I'm having a great time making these videos. If you like the video, please click the subscribe button down below. And I'll see you next time.